What up, everybody? Welcome to the Yap City Podcast, baby. It's your boy, Austin France.
It's your boy, JP.
Yeah, Rico Rax.
Yeah, we got a special guest today, man. Y'all know him. Y'all love him. Rico Rax, baby. How you been, bro?
Man, good, man. Just enjoying the free life.
Hell yeah. It's been a long time. I knew him from way back out, like back in the Greenbrier days, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Back when I was a youngin'.
Well,
you don't know nothing about
it.
it.
Yeah, you were like 16.
Bro, I was young, dude. Yeah, I was probably like 15, 16.
Being young or Greenbrier?
Greenbrier. You don't know nothing about
I used
that.
to play weekends in Greenbrier baseball every other weekend.
Where are you from?
I'm from the ball.
Okay.
Yep. But yeah, man, I'm glad you decided to come on the podcast, bro, because I wanted to jump straight into like your music career, bro. So
Word.
tell me like what made you want, like, what age, how old were you when you wanted to start rapping?
So, like I had freestyled at like a couple of parties, just like, a couple of boys get around, you get to just doing goofy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a couple of people like, oh, man, you always dress real nice. You always do, you kind of look like a rapper. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not. That's never going to be me, man. That's not something. So I think, I don't know, I was probably like 25, 26.
Okay.
And, dog, I rolled out of bed one day and I was like, you know what? It can't be that hard.
Yeah.
It can't be that hard. And
Yeah.
I actually wanted to be a DJ. Because,
Oh,
like, I used to go to music festivals and all that.
Oh, I remember seeing you doing that,
So
yeah.
I used to go to music festivals a whole lot. And I wanted to be a DJ really bad. I went to a couple of shows. I was a hype man for one of them. And I was like, damn, dude, this show life is crazy. I want to do this. And I was actually talking with somebody about getting some DJ equipment together. And when we were talking about it, he was just running over the prices, everything, and all the stuff you needed. And I was like, damn, I can't. I'm not trying to do all that right now.
Yeah.
I forget exactly what had happened, man, but it was a Saturday morning. I rolled out of bed, and I was like, you know what, dude? A lot of these guys suck.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys suck, and they're making
Yeah.
millions of dollars. I was like, this just can't be that hard. So
Yeah.
I just started doing a little bit of writing I'm going to do a freestyle, man. I'm just going to write some bars out and just do something. And I did that for about a week or two, and then the first song I ever dropped came right after that. I did this song called Nasty, and that was the first time I ever hopped in a booth, on a mic, whatever, and I didn't do any promotion for it, nothing whatsoever, and it got like, on YouTube, maybe like 4,000 streams just from the first song, and everybody was like,
Damn.
oh, dude, I could see this working for you. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense now. And I was just like, oh, gosh.
I know that shit feels good. Like when you wake up and see your video, like even like 1,000 views or streams or whatever, you're like, damn, hell
Dude,
yeah.
Yeah, well, most of the time, and that was just the first one I did.
Right,
you know?
right.
And so, like, I wasn't expecting 50 people.
Yeah.
In fact, I expected 50 to 100 people to at least get in there and laugh at me. They're like, oh,
Right.
dude, you suck, man.
yeah.
Hold on, I unconnected my little deal.
Oh, shit. Just, push it back.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, it was in the headphones.
I mean, you know what they say. All press is good press. So
Yeah, right. Well, I was expecting, like I said, I made the little song or whatever, and I was like, oh, yeah, surely this is all right, sure, whatever. People get in there and hate on it if they want to.
Yeah.
But everybody was just like, oh, my gosh, dude, this makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. You should keep doing this.
And that feels real good, the support.
I even sent it to my boss. And
Damn,
I got
hell
to work the next day, and I was selling printer parts for some corporation. And she came in, she was like, oh, my gosh, Blaney, I listened to this like 5 times on the way to work just to make sure before I came in here and tried to hype you up. But this was good. You should keep doing this. And I was like, okay, for sure. And so I played around with it for a little while. I made some songs with a couple of people that I had met in Conway. And, man, it just kept escalating. I did my first video with a dude that we're not really super tight anymore, but I made my first video with him. And it did, I think, like 10,000 views on YouTube. And I was like, okay, that's dope.
Hell yeah.
I was like, all right. It felt like a sign, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read somewhere it was like, if you, what exactly did it say? It was like, when you find your purpose, doors will be unlocked, and it'll always feel like you didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So it's like every little obstacle that I get to, I always felt like I had imposter syndrome.
Right.
I was like, man, why are all these doors opening? Why are all these people, they're vibing with this, they're doing that. I'm like, man, this isn't me.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't even know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm literally like in a room with the lights off, just like swinging around, hoping to hit stuff. And so that did good. But I was like, okay, well, you know, and it was a team video. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to try to do my first solo one. I just didn't have any songs, and I felt comfortable enough being like, all right, this is it.
Right.
This is the one. You know, this is the one I'm going to make a music video to. I'm going to push really bad. And then I made Banana.
Yeah, Banana, yeah.
And, you know, now granted, I have a whole lot better music than that, but it was not a bad song, especially for where I was at, you know, less than a year into my, you know, little career.
Bro, it was all over my Facebook. All over.
Yeah. First week, it did like 50,000 streams.
That's tough.
First week.
That's tough. And I feel like, I don't know, like, if you had multiple editors on it or what on the video, but, bro, the video was fire. You could tell a lot of work went into it.
The guy that shot it is, I think he's from Conway, too. His name was Damien. And I just went with him because he knew a bunch of the people that I ran around with.
Right,
You know,
right.
he was like, oh, man, you know, I'll get you right for a couple $100. You know, we'll shoot the video. And the idea for the video is, you know, I started looking around and I was like, man, everybody's just doing the same stuff, man. It's all the same. Everything in here is the same.
Yeah.
It's like everybody's got Drakes and money, drugs, guns. And I was like, and you know, dude, like I came from that life, you know, it's like, shoot, you know, hence the illustrious prison record.
Yeah. A little stretch there. Yeah.
But I was just like, man, how am I going to get noticed if everybody's doing the same stuff? I was like, I'm not. I was like, even at a risk of being goofy, I was like, I got to find a way, man. And that's when I started listening to, somebody put me, you know, MGK has always been one of my favorite artists, always. Dude,
hell yeah, bro.
Love the dude, bro.
I meant to talk to you.
That's what I'm talking about.
I seen what he's been doing recently.
Dude, Cliche.
Cliche
You guys seen that
fire.
video? Oh, my God, it's amazing.
I named my son after him, for being honest. My son's
Machine?
name's Colson.
Oh.
The Machine.
Dude, that's dope.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
I got the tattoo and everything, dog.
That's lit, man. He's been a huge inspiration in my career, you know, and got, you know, willing that I make it that far. You know, I'm sure that this video will come out at some point. But yeah, man, that dude actually taught me how to rap in a sense. You know, people be like, oh God, I hate MGK. Can't even name a song by him.
Yeah.
So like I don't even bother, you know, but no, man, when I was in prison, sidetrack for a second, when I was in prison, I was really working on getting everything together, like developing my skill set, man. And I was a MGK fan, but not to the point that I am now.
Right.
But I went through and I dissected every single song, album by album, and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of listens, to the point where I would listen, write out all the lyrics, and I'd be like, okay, how did he do this? Where did he take his breaths? You know, like, what is he doing here that's making it pop so hard? And so I just started rewriting it, and then I'd write what I would have said over it. And it wouldn't ever be as good or as catchy, but I'd be like, okay, but now I understand how he said it. Now I just got to get better at what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know, so I started figuring out what all was going into the process, and he taught me so much just by listening to his music, because he's such a well-rounded artist.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree.
One of the best. I mean, dude, he can do pop, rock, rap, you know, country.
Yeah, and a lot of people started hating on him when he moved to like the pop punk shit. I thought that shit was fire too.
Fire.
I went and seen him in concert.
Dude,
Fire, dude.
Here's the thing, man, everybody likes to be like, oh, Eminem made him switch genres. I'm like,
that's
dude,
crazy.
He has been on Warp Tour since like 2011.
Yeah, has songs with Sleeping with Sirens and shit, bro.
Dude,
like,
it was always a part of the plan.
Yes.
And once he did that, his platform got so elevated, he was like, now it's time to go to what I really want to do.
yeah.
TikTok dances.
Yeah. And he got, I mean, dude, he was selling out stadiums, #1 rock album of the year. You know, we were like, oh, he's a tourist. I was like,
I was definitely going to ask you who was a big inspiration to your like rap, you know.
MGK probably is the biggest.
Hell yeah.
You know, so I've always been a big fan of Kel's. The movement, just how he's able to be so relatable and so real and just so vulnerable in all of his music.
And then he got Megan Fox, and I was like, oh my God, this dude, he can't miss.
This guy sucks. I hate him.
Yeah, the GOAT, man.
Yeah,
the GOAT. You know, I take a special liking to white rappers. You know, it's like any kid that you grow up, you want to see people that look like you make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So it's like when I find these guys that I'm like, okay, they lived that street life to a degree, and they came out and did something with it, and they got all this stuff going, and I'm just like, okay, well, I really, you know, his story is really what I just graduated to the most, just because he had so much real about what he was talking about. There wasn't all the extra stuff.
Right.
But back to what I was saying about the music video or whatever. So I was like, man, I got to be able to stand out. I was big on Kels, loved him, loved everything he was doing, but I was like, man, you know, he's doing his whole pop punk thing. You know, that's just not me right now. I was like, you know, I'm still me. So I got to figure out, I was like, man, you know, I'm a funny dude. Yeah. You know, I like to laugh. So that's where somebody put me on. They were like, hey, you might like this guy. They put me on DaBaby.
Oh, DaBaby, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah. So like full disclosure, like I take bits and pieces from everybody's game that I like.
For sure. Yeah.
And that Let's Go thing is by far, like I use that in ad-libs in a lot of my songs now, just because
it took off as soon as it hit the streets.
Oh,
dude, yeah. So, and you know, the crazy part about him is the second he did Baby Jesus, I think he went and he locked in with a producer for like a couple of weeks and was just like, hey, I'm not leaving this studio until we have developed our own sound. Yeah. Like the thing that is going to make me stand out, we're going to develop it. We're going to do it right here. This is it. Yeah. And he just locked in, figured it out, had it, you know, his branded from the jump, found his sound from the jump, did that from the jump because he literally started out from the bottom and he was like, okay, look, if we're going to do this, we got to do it all right. We got to do it all right now. Yeah. And I love the vision. But the fact that he's got this comedic approach and the videos are just so goofy and different. Absolutely. Like, he blew up. What was it? Right after he went to, was it?
Walmart.
Well, yeah, that was a big part.
Yeah.
You know? The Walmart thing. And then he was at, I think it was Coachella or was it South by Southwest? It was Rolling Loud. One of the music festivals that he was at. Uh-huh. You know, and he went and did his performance in a diaper. In a diaper.
That's crazy. I didn't see that. Yeah, that's crazy.
In a diaper.
I see the video.
So when I seen that, I was like, holy this dude, you know, I mean, he's got the repertoire. He's got the, you know, he's official. He's not caring what these people are thinking. And he was like, man, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to get it. And he came out. I think his name was still Baby Jesus at the time. Uh-huh. He came out. He was on a cross. They brought him out. He's in a diaper. I'm just like, wild, bro. This dude is going above and beyond to be different.
Yeah. Jabberwockies in the music video.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know, what if I could just like take bits? That's when I started taking bits and pieces from all the people that I really like. Okay. So a bunch of big influences: MGK, DaBaby, Russ.
Big Russ fan.
Huge Russ fan. Huge.
I like Russ.
Yeah, Russ has got a new tour coming out.
Damn, hell yeah.
Yeah. And it's just, you know, seeing all these things that I'm watching people are doing that are working. So, like, Russ is where I get my work ethic that I mimic from. Yeah. So he can put out 50 songs in a year, once every week. Yeah. And so I've dissected every single video that this dude has ever made on YouTube. Dissected it, bro. This isn't just like, oh, yeah, I'm a rapper. No, like, I literally get on YouTube in my free time, and I have dissected every podcast he's been on. I have bought both his books and listened to them 100 times. I mean, I was just showing, you know, her the other day. I was like, look, I've only got 2 audiobooks on my whole phone, and they're both Russ. Yeah. And they're both Russ.
You put in work.
Yeah.
You put in work for sure.
So it's just like the work ethic and the drive to have that kind of output is, you know, I get that from Russ. The whole vibe and, you know, who kind of taught me my main skill set was definitely MGK. And then DaBaby, you know, I take away the high energy, the lack of fear just to be, to do whatever it takes to get noticed. He does not care. He understood that, man, if there's all this saturation in the market, you've got to make sure that when somebody's scrolling on TikTok, oh, it's a TikTok, okay, I don't care. No, you got to see, whoop, why is this dude in a diaper? Right. What is going on right now?
Attention grabbers.
There's so much content. You have got to be the one reel that when they see it, they're not scrolling past it. But the trick is you got to do that every single time. Yeah. every time.
Yep. Different is definitely what blows up these days.
Yeah, and that's
You know.
like that's what helped that banana thing. Is everyone's like, what? Why is this dude in a banana costume? Why he's doing that? And it was really more of on a satirical wave where I was like, okay, well, not like Lil Dicky style, but I was like, okay, all these dudes are making trap music, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I know. So what if I just did that and made it different? Like made the video satirical instead of just going into what everybody else is doing. So the money was bananas, the guns were bananas, the drugs were bananas. You know, I was a banana, and it was just, you know, the whole thing was just like, okay, well, you know, I was kind of just being like, all right, well, you guys are all doing the same stuff, so I'm just gonna make fun of you and make the music that I want to hear, and that's really what kind of just, you know, helped it shoot off.
Being genuine to yourself, like that's really the best way to go about it, because you ain't faking it. You ain't never got to worry. All right, can I keep doing this? Can I keep this up? Okay, it's you. Like, you have to be able to.
And you know, I've got a buddy that he owns a lot of businesses here in like Central Arkansas, like Cupid's Lingerie. I got a buddy that owns a lot of businesses, a couple of roofing companies, and so I'll be sending my stuff out to him just to like, you know, get somebody who doesn't listen to rap's opinion. Right. And you know, even he said, he's like, man, you know, I've never once listened to rap until I started, you know, like messing with you. And he's like, because you just have this like small ounce of comedic approach in there. Like you have weird little bars that just like make me giggle when you say it. It makes me feel happy. Yeah. You know, and that's what I want. It's like I like to do my trap music, but it also needs to be something that when you're like, what? Right. You know, like there needs to be something in there that's like that. What are you talking about? You know, something that's kind of comedic, gives you a giggle. And so that's what I kind of pride myself on, is I've taken pieces from all these people's game and I've kind of turned it into my own over time. You know what I mean?
That's tough, bro. Do you like, what am I trying to say here? So like, do you make just strictly like, you know, music that people can get hyped to, or do you also like making music that's like real and will hit people's hearts, and like you like both of them, doing both?
Now typically, if I had to say, because I feel like every artist makes music for a certain vibe, right? So like Drake says, oh, well, I make music for people who are riding around at nighttime and, you know, they want to be turned at night. Okay, cool, I get that. So mine, if I had to put it in a category, is I like to make music for people who get up at 8 o'clock in the morning and they're on their way to work. They're going to go get that money. The first thing you want to listen to is get turned, go get this money, and you want to feel good about it, you know? Yeah. And so if I had to say like that, that's kind of the purpose that I shoot for when I make music. Is this something I'm going to listen to on the way to work to get hyped to go get this money? Right. You know?
Okay, that's tough.
And but recently, you know, like I've started making I guess we'll say it's more wholesome music. So like I've got a lot of stuff that I haven't even shown to people yet that I do. So like I also record on TikTok in front of people and get on there on my lives, and you know, I want, those are the people that are gonna be the fans. You know, so I try to build that connection as much as possible. So I show it to them, but like I've got a lot of meaningful music that I've started making, you know, because I want to be able to have, you know, hey, this is my goofy turnt side, but hey, I also talk about some real stuff. So
be able to peel back the layers to who you really are.
Yeah, because that's how you know, being vulnerable, that's how you make fans. You know what I'm saying? Because anybody can be like, oh yeah, well I love, you know, XYZ, this artist and that artist, because I'm always turned when I listen to them. But even those guys have songs about stuff. Moneybag Yo, Street Cat, you know, has the resume, but he's also got songs that make you feel stuff. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I like Machine Gun Kelly so much.
Yes,
because even though he's got, you know, all these turnt songs and all this rock oriented music, all his stuff makes you feel something.
Yeah, he's got some heavy hitters. Yeah. He's got one like Dark Side of the Moon, I think is what it's called. Mm-hmm. It's rough to listen to. It's good. It's just sad as fuck. So I think that's cool. I think anybody really, especially rappers, I definitely think they should make like hype music, but also a couple meaningful, like, you know, I've been there, I've felt that, I've lived that, and I know you can, you know, kind of also feel what I'm speaking on. You know,
that's kind of how you got to like looking at Lil Baby differently.
Yeah, it really is.
In the beginning, he was just like, okay, he's like everybody else. Yeah, I got all his money, I got all his clothes, and then he started getting like actual content in his rap. Like, I was forcing him to damn near listen to it. I was like, bro, trust me, just listen to this shit. Like, actually listen to it and quit hating.
Yeah, it was the Queen and Slim song. What was it?
The Chaser song or something like that.
Catch a Sun.
Catch a Sun, yeah. And I mean, it really just hit because like the lyrics actually mean something, and then when you see it in the video, it's just like, damn, like I can genuinely feel this song.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, for Lil Baby at that time, you weren't expecting that. You were expecting blah blah blah, bitch, wham wham wham, bitch, don't do that. Like you was expecting like a little catchy bullshit, but it turned into more. And I mean, even now you look at his career and the way it's going without like that consensual like rap where people are listening to it and like feeling something, he probably wouldn't have got to the point where he got. And I mean, he got fucking huge.
Yeah, he did. He blew up quick. But yeah, bro, it's cool to see, bro. I feel like which I mean, it's been fucking years, bro. Yeah. But I feel like you've definitely like changed a lot as a person.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, dog, for where you at now.
Thank you. Yeah, well, you know, I mean, the last time we saw each other was probably we were like 18, 19, wasn't it?
Bro, maybe.
Yeah.
I remember I seen you in Walmart parking lot one time, and I think I might have been like 19.
Yeah.
I might have been. That might have been the last time I seen you, bro. Because we kicked it back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely kicked it at the Lucy house.
Yeah.
And I think, the Lucy house and the Weatherford's house a couple times.
Yeah.
We were kicking it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? So I had caught those that case back in 18.
Right.
That I ended up having to go to prison for like 2.5 years.
Yeah, you were gone for a while. Yeah. I was like, damn, Blake gone for a little bit.
And what's even crazier is like, you know, I was in county for like a year, rehab for like a year. I was out for 2.5 years, and I was like, okay, well, you know, and it was like while I was out, I was like, man, I can't go back to trapping, bro. Like I gotta find something to do with all my free time, man.
Yeah.
Like, and that's when I started like really getting into music.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just need to get a hobby, man. Like, I got to do something. Because otherwise, I'm just going to be at the bar all the time. I'm going to
stay in trouble and shit.
Stay in trouble. I'm just going to not be doing nothing.
Yeah.
And so I ended up going to, you know, that's when I started doing the music. But anyway, I went to prison for like 2.5 years. Yeah. I actually saw Dylan in there, which was crazy.
Oh, shit.
Dude, yeah, you know, that's been my road dog
for years.
Yeah. So I was in this program where it's like, oh, you get to go home early, you know, good behavior, you get to work. Well, I got kicked out because this, I ain't going to go into too much information, but dude was on some, you know, he was yapping at me, and all I did was be like, you know, I addressed the yapping, and when I did that, he took it the wrong way, and at 10 o'clock that night, I was in handcuffs, and I was going back to prison. And so
Damn.
And they put you on the ankle monitor. I'm in free world clothes, taking free world showers. I got a phone at work, you know. I'm going in, you know. I'm doing what I do, and you know, I'm on the phone at work doing my thing. Well, that happened. So I go back to prison, and they take me to this. It's this class 4 barracks, right? It's where all the troublemakers are at.
Right.
Everybody there that's got a violation. You're in there. You lost your class, or you just got to prison. Waiting to get your class. So I go in. I set my stuff down, and prison is really, people try to say it's not, but it's super race-oriented. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I kind of feel somewhere in this middle ground where it's like, are you Hispanic or are you white? Who are you riding with?
Yeah,
and I was just like, man, look, man, I'm not really jiving with either one of y'all right now, bro. Yeah. These guys over here, y'all are on some different stuff. These guys over here are on some stuff that I'm not cool with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, man, I'm independent, bro. I'm in here. I can handle myself. I'm not riding for y'all if something happened. I don't need nobody to ride for me. If somebody want to, attempt to touch me up, I can handle myself. I don't need none of that.
Yeah.
And so, one of these white boys came up to me and he was like, oh, okay, well, I understand that you kind of fall in this little line of whatever, but, check it out. You still going to have to do this thing we call a heart check. And I'm like, yeah, I'm well aware of that. So let's run that whenever you're ready. And if y'all don't know what that is, so when you go to the penitentiary, a heart check is when you set your stuff down, they send somebody of equal size or somebody that's got something to prove to somebody. They're like, okay, y'all go catch this cell for like, square up with you for 30 seconds or so. And then, they just want to make sure that you're going to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, then they're going to take advantage of you.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, all right, yeah, man, whenever you're ready, bro. I already knew that this was coming. So let's go handle this business real quick. Well, out of nowhere, me and this dude are talking, and I hear, dude shouting my government name behind me, and I turn around, and sure enough, it was Dylan, and I was like, oh, my God,
holy
bro.
Shit, what? That's crazy, bro.
So we go in, we dap it up, and he's like, oh, man, no, this is my A1 day one. We're cool, and he's like, are you sure you're going to put, you going You gonna ride for him? He's like, 100%. He's like, this is my guy. So me and Dylan ended up being cellmates for months.
Damn, that's tough.
Dude,
okay.
I'm telling you, it was, I hate to tell everybody, oh, man, prison's great.
yeah.
But look, man, for that 4 months that me and dude were in there together, bro, I was cushed up, man.
Hell
me
yeah.
and dude, we were locked in, cutting up. Dude was like, oh, man, I don't even go to work out here. I'm like, bro, look, if you're going to be kicking with me, I'm on some, like, get it handled type stuff. Like, bro, I need you to be going to work, trying to get your class back, trying to get all this stuff, get your stuff together, because I ain't with all that crash out stuff, bro, that you got going on right now.
Yeah.
Couple days went by, homeboy started showing up to work.
Hell
now we're working every day. We're in the whole squad, beating that grass up. And it was pretty cool, man. Like I said, we went to work every day. We sweat together. We spent the whole summer out there just slaving. So it was dope, man. I got a chance to really kick it with somebody I consider family still to this day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's cool. You went in and obviously you didn't know he was in there, but it's cool you went in and like your number one was in there with you, so you weren't like going in there blind almost. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
that's cool as fuck.
Yeah. And, I'm sure, you go in there, you see people that you've met at other units that you're cool with. You see these people and that people, but this was my day one.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is my guy.
Yeah.
And so when we went in there, it was just like, oh, my gosh, this is going to be the best. This is going to be the best summer ever. I'm in prison.
Phineas and Ferb in that
for real, bro. I'm telling you, we were teamed up. But yeah, man, we had a blast, dude. We ended up even joining a volleyball team where neither one of us played, bro. Neither one of us played.
Damn,
but our team won a championship, and they put our names on the same banner. So our names are forever on a banner.
Hey, we in the rafters forever.
Forever.
Retire his jersey and shit.
That's crazy as fuck. Yeah, man. Back to the music thing. I tried to do it a little bit. Do you know? I don't know if I don't think he would care if I name drop Dylan Nabrowski. You know him?
Isn't that Carrie's brother?
Yeah. Okay, so that's one of my homeboys. I mean, I fuck with him the long way. But he was doing some music there for a minute. I don't think he tried to go to like any studio recordings. But I remember like you were saying, like we go to a party, he'd freestyle. There would be 2 people freestyling, and then everybody would be like, Dylan, get in. So he would go do it. Well, me and him and this dude I used to run with, Jake, this was back when SoundCloud started popping off.
Oh, yeah, the SoundCloud days.
SoundCloud rapper, yeah. So we started doing this thing. We called it H4L Productions, Homies for Life Productions. And
that's cute.
Yeah, and all right, Cocoa Puff swag. Hey, I was 18 maybe. I don't remember, but
he's a grown ass man.
But yeah, we had like a total of like 16 songs, and we had them all on this like iMac, like MacBook Air is what it was, and then the dude that bought the laptop, Jake, the dude I was doing with it, I don't know how you get a laptop repoed, but he got it repoed, so we lost all our songs. Because he had got it from like Rent-A-Center or something. Lost every one of our songs. The only song we had, and it's still out on SoundCloud. Don't go listen to it. It's Major Leagues is what it was called. And it was shitty. It was definitely shitty. But it was like I felt good because the only thing about it was Dylan was supposed to be on that song, but he just couldn't get to what we called our studio. He couldn't get there that day, and Jake was like, well, let's just do it without him. And I was like, that don't feel right. Well, he talked me into it, and we did it, and of course, Dylan wasn't cool with that. But we, because Dylan's verse probably would have made it really pop off because it was fire. I just did the hook because I sing. I like to sing, and so I tried to like write a verse, like a chorus to rap to. I can't do it. I can't write. But that song, it felt cool to me. So I'm sure like it felt really cool to you when your shit started first popping off, because people from my hometown in Greenbrier, they were like, I would pull up to like my buddy's house one day and some random person I don't know is bumping Major Leagues, listening to Major Leagues. So I was like, damn, that's tough. So that definitely had me wondering, like, I bet like when you first started popping off that it felt good in your soul.
Yeah.
That people were supporting.
2 days after Banana dropped, I was actually, where was I? I was at Bears Den. And God, I hate that place. But anyway, I was at Bears Den, and I walked in, and this lady was like, "Hey, you're that guy from YouTube." And I was like,
"Damn, that's
and
tough."
She's like, "Yeah, I seen your video." She was like, "That was so tough." And I was like, "Thanks." I was like, because it wasn't like I was taking it semi-serious at the time, but it wasn't anything where I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a rapper."
Right.
It wasn't like it was something I did just kind of as a hobby, man. And
you didn't have the mindset that you do now.
No, now if I don't do it every single day, my stomach starts churning. Like I get antsy. I can't. I be laying up.
Yeah.
I don't even watch TV anymore, dog. I don't go out. I don't do nothing, bro. Like if I'm not at work, I'm in the studio 100%
That's good, bro.
of the time.
That's work ethic, baby. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, like when I first got out of prison, like I wanted to do a little bit of running around, and I got out and I was like, dang, this is cool, but I had been doing this already. So I was like,
gets old after a while.
I just want to lock in.
Yeah.
I just want to lock in and see what kind of life I can make for myself if I just believe enough.
Yeah.
And I dropped this song, and I referenced this one bar because it just like scratches my brain every time I hear it. It's in this track called Sunday Morning Freestyle, and I did it over the you remember Sierra's song Goodies?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it's over like a faster paced beat of that.
Okay.
And
did you post that one?
Yeah.
Okay, I seen that one.
I drop like every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I'm dropping music. And I've already got them all uploaded, so it just automatically.
Oh, that's tough. Okay.
Yeah, because I went through probably around in January and just recorded a bunch of music. And I was like, all right, this is enough for 6 months worth of stuff. This should get me a foundation.
Right.
And that'll buy me time to get even better.
Yeah.
And then the next 6 months after that, I can be hopefully closer to where I'm wanting to be.
Yeah.
So, the bar that I reference in that all the time is I had a dream, believed in me, and that shit came to life. I went from stocking drinks, boy. Now my name is up in lights, and the first half of that, man, is just like, because that's where it starts, bro. It's self-belief.
Yeah.
People see you trying to build something out of nothing, and they laugh at you at first.
Oh,
bro,
sure.
I got laughed at every barracks in the penitentiary. Oh, you're a rapper?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, funny ass motherfucker, fuck you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I believe like this is gonna work for me. Watch.
Yep.
And people be like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, man. This stuff is butt, and I'm just like, oh my God, man.
Yep.
And I just wanted to be good so bad that it ate me alive, dog. It ate me alive. So I just kept working. And, I got out and I seen myself, I had got out. I was just doing whatever. Had the studio, because I've had a studio in my house since I started making music. Mm-hmm. I just constantly kept upgrading it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm doing this. I make a couple songs here and there. I do this. I go out and I go to work and I'm doing this. But do I really want this? Do I? Because I'm not dropping music steady. I'm not doing this steady. I'm not doing that steady. Do I even really want to do this?
Right.
And I started, questioning myself.
Yeah.
And
self-doubt and shit.
Yeah, because there's always two people in my mind, and I reference Cars a lot in my music. Mm-hmm. Because it's
good
like
movie.
Not well. The movie Cars is one of my favorite movies. I actually have a song coming out called Rico McQueen.
Yeah.
So love the movie Cars, but I mean Cars is in like a sense of like, okay, I'm always on the road.
Yeah.
And like I reference that a lot because in my mind, you are always on this road. And there are two people in the car, you and your ego. Now you it's the pure version. It's that version of you where people are like, oh, okay, well, this is a nice guy. This is a dude that I could really, vibe with. This is a good person. And then there's your ego.
Yeah.
And that's the dude that hurts everybody, that's selfish, self-centered, egotistical, narcissistic, but he gets the most work done.
Yeah.
And so I'm always in a constant battle when I'm driving, in my mind, and it's like, who do I let have the wheel at this point in my life? Who needs to have the wheel the most? And finding that healthy balance of when it's okay to let him drive the whip and let me take back control is one of the biggest parts. So, that like I said, that just figuring out that ego switch, man, is just, there's always two people going on in your mind, man, you and your ego, and you just got to find that healthy balance of when it's okay to let him drive the car. Because before I went to prison, it was ego was in the car all day, every day. There, me was in the trunk. I was in the whip, but I was in the trunk, tied up, duct tape. There was none of that.
You wasn't seeing the wheel anytime soon.
I wasn't seeing the wheel anytime soon. And at some point, I got out of that, and I was, it was me begging my ego just to, man, calm down, bro, please, just let me take the wheel just for a little bit, for a little bit. And then when I did, I slowly started talking that ego down, and I'm like, man, look, it ain't gotta always be about you, homie. It ain't. You know what I'm saying? There's a time and a place for all this stuff. And so just working on that has been, something that I've seen really kind of help elevate me. But, for my music, man, I definitely try to let him take the wheel in the music.
Oh, yeah.
Now when I want to make those songs where I'm like, man, I need to, really kind of make this relatable, in a sense, I'm kind of like having that convo with my ego, like, look, man,
let me hop in the booth for a second.
Like hop in there, and when, sometimes I even be like, man, look, we can do this as a team.
And
I feel like that's when my best work gets done, is when I'm able to take that ego and take myself and us be able to, like, set aside our differences in a sense just for an hour. To make something where I'm like, hey, this is us. You know what I'm saying? I know you want to be like, oh, screw this, screw them, money, cars, clothes, hoes, this and that, but we can do that. But if we come together, we can make something meaningful. I got a song right now that I haven't dropped. It's probably my favorite track I have ever made in my entire life, and it's called A2A, Ashes to Ashes. And plan on dropping that in a couple of weeks. I haven't got it uploaded yet, but it's probably my favorite song. I listen to nothing but my own music for the most part, and that's because
I was going to ask you that. If you listen to your music a lot.
Oh, yeah. Nonstop. And I've got so many songs, dog. So many. Jesus Christ. It's like, it's a lot. Like last night before I was up till 4 o'clock in the morning. I made, in the past 10 days, like 10 choruses. I recorded like 3 or 4 whole songs. And it's just like, I'm up till 4 in the morning and I'm just, like this. I'm like, damn, I'm not even tired. I got to go do this podcast. I better go to sleep, man. I got to go to sleep. So I'm running on like 5-6 hours of sleep right now, but that's because I was just like, I had hit that mode.
Focus.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When you're just, it's not boring. And I'd get one song done in 30 minutes. Boom, done. Let's go to another one. Boom, done. Go to another one. Boom, done. And I'm just like, holy crap, I could do this all night. I could do this until the podcast, and then go do the podcast, and
then come back and do 3 more songs.
And then do 3 more songs. And it's just like you get addicted to putting in that work.
Hell yeah.
And that's where I'm at with it, man. Is like, I don't know. I get lost in the process a lot.
Yeah, that's tough, though. I mean, I think, in my opinion, if you're doing something, I think you should always be your biggest supporter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like with the podcast, I every time an episode drops, unless I got 3 kids, so I don't have time all the time. But as soon as it drops, bro, I'm on YouTube watching it. Watch the whole thing, see if there was like a moment of silence where I was like, okay, next time.
I was going to ask you, do you critique yourself a lot?
Absolutely, bro. Because like, just on everything, bro. Even on little shit.
Yeah.
Like shit I'm doing on this, like I do the fat boy shirt pulls all the time. Like
fat boy shirt pull.
Yeah. So, and I catch myself doing it, and I'm like, damn, I do that shit a lot. I gotta quit. And like, which our editor, he's not ashamed to like, shout out Chase, to tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And there was one episode where, like, I didn't catch it, but I was chewing gum. So in the mic, all you heard was, and he's like, hey, Austin, no more gum on the podcast.
Cussed him out.
Yeah. So like.
Called him stupid. Made him cry a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, Chase, eat a Snickers, bro.
You're not yourself when you're hungry.
Yeah. But yeah, I critique the fuck out of myself. And we, like going back on the, like, it's cool, like seeing people support you, especially people who you never thought would. Or like,
oh yeah,
bro, that feels good. But we've definitely had a couple haters, like which I didn't know them, but we had a couple people on TikTok. One of them, I told you we had that dude making our shorts.
Yeah,
and
he's hating on us now.
No. No, shout out Malachi. It's all love from him. But
it might be all love.
But he made us a couple TikToks. I posted one, and I was like, bro, this shit is funny. I think I was talking about like. I think I asked JP, like, what if I was black? He was like, well, I said, who do you think I would be? And he said some dumbass shit.
Nah,
and then I said,
hold on, I'm curious.
Because he said, I think I beat Chris Brown. I said, fuck.
Oh, yeah, you
I
could
did a
only
little
be
dance
you
dance.
could only be so lucky.
yeah.
Yeah, I was like, Chris Brown can do everything. Speaking of, he's free from what I hear now.
Oh, shout out Chris Brown.
Oh, yeah, free to God, man.
But I told him
Why we got a second? Free Tory Lanez, too. Why
Man,
yeah,
free Tory Lanez.
Tory, all right, I ain't even gonna dive into it, but like he's really one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, he is.
It's
yeah.
his, his music's so good.
He's one of those
so
people
good.
that's got that same kind of workflow, bro.
Literally.
He literally eats, breathes, sleeps like this is his life.
Yeah.
And so he just dropped that album. What was it? Daystar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
yeah.
one in prison.
Yeah.
Didn't it go #1 on Billboard?
I think they was hating on him. I think they was like trying to keep it from him, but it was going up, and then all of a sudden kind of like plateaued, and I was like, nah, it needs to be better.
Let's keep that in reference for a second. Like, how in the world do you even go top 10 from a song from an album, not a song, an album that you recorded in the penitentiary on a phone?
Yeah, that's
he had to
crazy.
stop recording because a riot happened. That's real stuff. So,
Damn.
dog, look.
That's crazy as fuck.
There ain't many that could do that.
I don't
No.
keep up with Tory Lanez a lot. I mean, I don't think he's bad, but I just don't know him enough.
Yeah, I think
Dude.
Doug could probably do it.
I became a huge fan, so I had always liked his more lit stuff. When him and Megan broke up, he made a whole album about that. And I was like, dang, this dude really cared about this girl, bro. I was like, he really poured his whole heart out. And it was like days after, just boom, album right there.
Damn.
And I was like, that's hard work.
Yeah.
That's somebody who wants this. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I started diving deeper into Tory, and I was just like, man, started watching all his interviews, watching what he was saying, because that's how you learn, man. These people have the recipe. You just got to go figure out what the ingredients to that recipe are.
Right.
They're not going to tell you how to put it all in there, how to cook it right. They can give you the ingredients if you pay attention.
Yeah.
But how it gets cooked, you've got to figure that out. And shout out Wayne. Wayne, some of his best advice that I heard recently was that repetition is the father of learning. You know? So,
Damn,
I mean, even if you're failing, dude, 1,000 times, you've only got to get it right once.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Think about it. You guys could have 1,000 podcasts that have, 2 views on it.
Yeah.
But all it takes is 1 to get 1 million.
We were literally talking about that the other day with our editor. It takes one time for one person, the right person to see it. It's up there.
Yeah. Or dude, just something in there made everybody feel some type of way.
Yep.
And so, like Casanet, he was recording, his Twitches. He had a I think there was one where he had a roach going on in the background of his room.
Yeah.
And, he was down, but you just do it. But now he is literally one of the hot dude streamers, or what kids want to be these days.
For sure.
They don't want to be rappers. They don't want to be,
Yeah.
You don't
wanna
play.
play
You see rappers and shit hopping on streams.
Streams, yes.
Like trying to like promote their shit through streamers.
Yep.
Like, I just seen you ever seen Black Boy Max?
love that.
He just had 2 Chainz on there. He just had Quavo on there.
He had Kevin Gates a couple
Literally,
weeks
he
ago.
had Kevin Gates
He had
on.
Wiz Khalifa. He's got all these guys coming
dropping
in.
music.
Yeah, dudes that were, now granted, these dudes were really, super hot in our era, but they are still like legends in the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so to have them be like, oh, okay, well, here's the deal. We're going to, we're going to have this platform where people can come on and see how they're recording in the studio. What is their process?
Right.
You know how much you can learn from that as an artist?
He had Swiss Beats on there co-producing tracks. Like, it's gotten to that level where it's just like,
Damn.
And all he's doing is engineering.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like he'll be like, nah, man, I'm just engineering. I don't even really do this. I just do this for fun.
Yeah.
But he knows how to do everything.
Yep.
And he's like, oh, okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do it. Yada yada yada. They get in the booth, and then it's an hour-long video of them just making a song in front of everybody.
Yeah.
So that's actually what I've started doing, man, is I'll get on TikTok and I'll go live. I've got a whole setup where, you can join in on my live.
Yeah.
And it's like you're in the studio, just like they are. You hear all the effects, you hear the vocals. You're not just hearing somebody spit. You're literally watching and listening the song get made right there.
That's tough.
And, now granted, I don't have 50 bajillion followers right now.
Yeah.
I've got maybe like a few thousand on all my platforms collectively.
Yeah.
But to have the ability to interact with people in this day and age, like they didn't have that 10 years ago where you could hop on a stream and they could listen to you while you're recording. Do you know how hard that would have been to watch Lil Wayne in the studio?
Oh, bro.
How hard it would have been to see
Speaking of that, like T-Pain is doing that like right now.
Yeah.
Like, where he's got a lot more followers than all of us combined.
Right.
But it's even to the point where he'll go live on TikTok and he'll have viewer submissions where they're sending in samples and like hooks and stuff like that. And it's gotten to the point where he's used them and like made songs with viewers who are really just fans that have sent in shit that like caught his ear. And he goes, I can make a hit out of this. Boom. And then next thing you know, you're going to hear it on the fucking radio.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
shit
tough.
like that.
And it even more lucrative, dude. People are in these, TikTok lives watching these people do this, and they're paying you while you're doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll get in there and do an hour-long studio session and make, I don't know, $10, $20.
Yeah.
Just from somebody being like, oh, hey, man, I like how this sounds. Here's a gift. Here's a gift. Here's some more gifts. And so you're sitting there, and where most people are still paying for studio time, people are paying me to listen to me while I'm doing studio time.
Right.
And so, and then you get paid out on TikTok for it. Now, is it a fortune? No. You know, but at the same time, it's changing the game, man. Streaming has changed the whole game of how music is being made.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And then it's also giving these fans an opportunity to give their input in the studio.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you're my favorite artist. I would like it even more if you hit the riff kind of like this.
Right.
When you're doing your vocal, and they'll be like, all right, well, let's give it a shot. Boom. And everyone's like, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So where normally you would have heard a song and be like, oh, okay, that's dope. You're like, dude, I helped make that.
Exactly.
Guess what? Now these people are like, oh, dude, I was in the studio. I was in a live when he made that. Y'all go check this out.
Yeah.
They're more involved in it.
Yeah.
So I've even started a process where I'll get on TikTok and I tell these people, okay, well, I just recorded this with y'all in there. Let's listen back to it one more time. Y'all tell me that, everybody drop a name of what you think this song should be called. And I'll let people make the name. A2A, Ashes to Ashes. I played it for everybody. They're like, oh my gosh, wait, I love this song. Yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what. We'll pick 5 names and we'll choose the most popular. A2A is the one, so I let them choose it.
That's
so
tough.
now I've got groups of people that are like, oh man, I remember when dude XYZ made this song and did this and did that. I want to be a part of that now. Yeah. It gives them more of a reason to go in and be like, oh yeah, well, I want to share this.
Yeah.
I was a part of this.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's no longer just you trying to get the music out. It's you and this person.
Right.
And then you and that person.
Yep.
And that person and that person and that person. You're expanding your soldiers.
Yeah. That's kind of what we were like the past 2 seasons. Season 1, I think we had a couple guests. Season 2, we didn't really have it. I think we had maybe 3 in 25 episodes. Yeah. This season, I was like, JP, I think we should have a guest as many episodes as possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we could have all 25 episodes, a guest on it, just because when you involve someone, right, you bring them on as a guest, they're a guest on the podcast, they're like, hell yeah, I was behind the camera, blah, 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 and then they share it, and then their friends see it, and they're like, oh, that's cool. My homeboy was on this podcast, click. Oh, that was tough. Share it.
Tell you what I think would help you guys out a lot.
Go ahead.
And now, I'm not the podcaster here, so far be it for me, but I am a creative.
Yeah.
So what I would do, man, hook up, get you a secondary camera while you're running this.
Shout out Chase.
Get you a secondary camera, and then this is what's going to get you. Have that dude streaming on TikTok while you're doing the set.
Yeah,
it could be from a totally different, you could set it over there. It doesn't matter. You've got your main recording one, and then, however you want to do it. But you've got that one on TikTok, and then you've got, your phone or some, you both got your phones watching the comments.
Yeah.
Hey, let's take a chat question. What do y'all want to know?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, ask him this. They're more interactive in it. Well, guess what? Because they were a part of you making the podcast, they're just as interactive with it as a guest.
Exactly.
So if you got 10 people interacting where normally you'd have 1 guest, you now have 10 guests. You expanded that army.
Yeah, that's
so
tough.
now you're taking questions from people in here. They're like, "Oh man, y'all need to go check this out because I was helping, and that's how they feel. They're interacted. They're a part of it now. They're one of y'all.
Yeah. One of our most asked questions is like when we have a guest on, they're like, "Is it shot live?" Always, I'm like, "No, we don't shoot live, but we're gonna try to because we're both kind of nerds. You can say say what you want. We like anime, so I'm trying to get into a Comic-Con in September and get a media pass, and I want to try to do something like that where we go live on TikTok there and involve the people on TikTok and involve all of the like cosplayers and you know, shit like that. Like, I want to go to the one in September. Tom Kenny's going to be there, which I think is cool. You know, voice of SpongeBob, shit like that.
Oh, wow.
And so I think it would be cool to try to get him in some content. One dude we had on here as a guest, shout out Brandon. He has a podcast, and he got a clip with Jamie Kennedy from Malibu's Most Wanted. So I want to do something like that. You know, I think that would be tough as fuck. And going live involving the people on TikTok, that would be tough.
That's instant gratification for everybody involved. Like,
exactly.
The fans are going to be like, dude, that's dope. They listen to my comment. And I mean, we've all been fans of somebody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Or if you're on like a YouTube video or like even like a Twitch stream and you comment and you see like the video that they clipped later on, you're like, there's my name where I asked that question and he actually responded.
Yeah.
Because you want to see it. So there's a right there. And then as the creator, it feels dope to be able to know that what you're doing means something to somebody, where people are coming back and be like, asking. So right now we're really at a point where we're trying to build more interaction with our fans so we can get them to be commenting like often and come back through there. So we can get to a point where we're going live and we know we're going to have people that are sending questions in, sending in requests, sending in things they want to see us talk about in the live moment.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're not afraid of going live. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, we went live one time before the podcast, and but it was on my personal TikTok account because our Yap City TikTok, you have to have like at least 1,000 followers to go live. We ain't there yet. Get us there.
Working on it.
On TikTok?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But
some programs.
But I know.
Holler at me after this. We'll get you tapped in.
Okay, bet. I know. We just did a giveaway, just to really try to push engagement to our followers. You know what I'm saying? So we did like $100 giveaway, and shout out my mom. She does candy fruits. So she makes like candied fruit and candies and chocolate bars and shit. And she added some stuff to the giveaway. So that was cool. But we did it for engagement. So we would tell people, yo, if you want to be on the wheel to win, if you want to be entered, you have to go follow the socials and you have to comment done because those comments are engagement. You know, exactly.
So, and you know, that's what I do on TikTok. So like every single comment that I get on a TikTok, like it, comment on it, make sure that they feel like it's a specialized comment.
Yes.
Now, if they've commented multiple times, I might just send them some emojis.
Right.
But a big thing that I do, and that's, you know, you'll see it too, is like, so like with your Comic-Con stuff. And again, you know, this is just me being a creator. What I see is, so like my short-term content does way better than, you know, like the longer videos.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, 30, 45-second little videos. Nobody's got time to
People's
watch that.
attention spans, it's not what they used to be.
Now, if it's their favorite artist and he dropped a music video, they got 2 minutes. They got 2 minutes. Nobody knows, you know, nobody knows us pretty much.
Yeah.
So you've got to find 10, 15 seconds. You know, people don't even want to hear the hook of a song anymore. They want to hear half a hook.
Yep.
Play half a hook and then be like, oh, that actually sounded good.
Yep.
Because guess what? That cost him 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Half a hook, make the content engaging, move around.
Yep.
So for y'all's Comic-Con thing, what I would say is, all right, guys, you know, we're here with, you know, so on and so forth. So on and so forth. So let's do, you know, what's, you know, like have a question, you know, a couple questions, but keep it under 15, 20 seconds, you know, where it's short term, you know, like you've got your phone, you can use that as a recording device. So it ain't got to be super, you know, they got little bitty recording devices you can get on TikTok for super cheap.
Yep.
But doing that short-term content, that's what's going to help boost you in the algorithm. Dude, I posted a video the other day, and, you know, I don't even know what in the world is going on my algorithm. I have no idea. Man, I posted a video after I left a show. So the most recent show that I did was in Fayetteville.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. I was going to bring that up.
Greatest night of my fucking life.
Fire?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of Memphis artists. I don't know if you know who White Sosa is.
I seen you post him.
So White Sosa, he blew up, you know, 6-7 years ago. He's from Memphis.
He did the Heart in the Paint
cover.
Yeah,
Heart in the Bank. Yeah,
Heart in the Bank. Yeah,
I've been a fan of that dude. So he did a song with NLE Choppa years ago called "Hit the Scene."
Okay, tough.
And it's, you know, it's a gold record at this point. It's got almost 40 million streams on YouTube. It's got millions and millions on Spotify, other streaming platforms. It was a certified hit. It was really the one that took NLE Choppa to the next level.
Okay.
You know, so I've been a fan of dude for a while, long time. And this was my opportunity to go meet one of the artists that I respected for years. You know what I'm saying? So I went out there. I got to be I had talked to the promoter. I was like, look, man, I'm headlining in June at the same venue. I want to be the person that gives dude the mic. I want to be able to say my piece to him, and I want to go out there and do what I was put here to do. So I actually got to perform for dude 4 years ago or so on Instagram Live. And came home. He was like, he was in his bathroom, and he was like, man, I'm turned up. Somebody turn me up. Somebody turn me up. And I was eating donuts on this chick's island in her kitchen, just chilling. And I was in like I don't know, dude. I was dressed bummy, but I sit there and I was like, okay, asked to join live. I'm sitting there eating donuts, and I turn back. It says, you will now be joined in 2, 1. And I was like,
powder on your face.
Yeah. He's like, hey, bro, yeah, what is that?
I'm turned up.
Yeah, I'm turned up. So me, dude was like, man, turn me up. So I grabbed this beat pill, this JBL pill, and I set it on the counter, and I performed this song, Big Voice. And he was like, man, that was turned. That was dope, man. I appreciate you. And I was like, hey, man, quick before you go, I want you to know I'm a big fan. This is my dream too, and this ain't gonna be the last time that you see me. And I promise, when you see me again, you're gonna see me the next time. For real. I'm gonna make sure you see me.
Yeah.
And so when I went out to the show, he came in, we dapped up, nothing crazy. I didn't even really want to speak to him until I got up there and performed, because I wanted the music to do the talking.
Right.
And I had already been offered the headlining role for the next show, because I had performed out there. They had seen me on TikTok, Instagram, this promotional company, and they were like, hey, man, we see you're an Arkansas artist. We got a show out there in a couple weeks if you'd be interested. So I got out there, and I sold, we'll say, right around double of the amount of tickets that, the next leading person did, and I wasn't even the headliner.
Damn.
So I think overall, which is small, for my first paid show, I sold 32 tickets.
That's tough.
I was like, dude, tough.
That's sick, dude.
Went out, performed my ass off.
Hell yeah. I seen the videos.
Dude, I was locked in on a whole other level.
Yeah.
Whole other level. And so I got out there, performed really great. So many people came up and were like, bro, you were the best performer here, dog. I don't even know who you are, but that was insane. How often do you do this? And I was like, oh, this is my first performance in like 4 years. I didn't even bother telling them, oh, man, I just got out of prison, dog. Like,
right.
I'm still a year out. And so we got to chopping it up. I got to chopping it up with some of the people, and they're like, oh, my gosh, you look like you've been doing this. I was like, nah, dog, I ain't done this. And this was just my moment. Yeah. I just been trying to tell everybody my moment's coming, and now I'm hitting my stride, and now people are starting to notice. You know what I mean? So, when when I went out there, I did that performance, did really well. The promoters got calls about it, so they hit me up and were like, hey, we really want you to headline coming up in the next month or so. And I was like, bet. So we locked in, maybe the headliner. Well, it was like last week, middle of the week or so, I had seen one of the people that were trying to get on my show. I recognized his name. I seen it on Instagram, and I seen that there was a show going on in Fayetteville at the same venue that I just performed at with one of my favorite artists, White Sosa. And I was like, oh, shit, this is my chance.
Yeah.
I can get out there and be seen by somebody who, I truly admire. Because the dude's music's awesome. He's hard. I mean, dude's had some crazy stuff happen, and we'll get. I don't want to get into all of it, but man, went out to the show, performed in front of him. Even let him know, man. 4 years ago, you probably don't remember this, bro. I performed for you on Instagram Live, and I told you the next time you see me, you gonna see me for real. And I just hope that after my performance, man, that you see me now. And he did his set, awesome. And when we were leaving, man, he was like, bro, I got that nod, where he came up, he's like, man, look, your music is hard. You need to be pushing this on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, dog, because you got what it takes.
Yeah.
You're a great performer. Your music's great. You just got to get out there. You got to put the gas on this, and you got to do it now. And I was like, okay, bet. So we got to chopping it up. And we were all walking out the venue, and he comes over, and he's like, man, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, man, I was about to take everybody back to the crib because I got off of work at 6, drove 3 hours up there just to prove a point.
Yeah.
Just to prove a point. That's how bad I wanted it. Went out there, proved my point, and he was like, man, we're going to this bar out here. You should, my bad. You should come with us. Come party with us. And I was like, I ain't never gonna get an opportunity like this again, you know. Sure. So I was like, oh yeah. So me and my whole crew hit the town with Sosa and his boy Benji Gabbana. Shout out Benji.
Shout out.
And man, it was some of the coolest, most down to earth dudes, bro. You know, you strip the other BS away. Like these dudes, man, family. You know what I'm saying? Like I really respect these dudes. We had a great night. You know, I'm talking, dude, probably one of the most memorable nights of my whole life.
Hell yeah, bro. I think it's cool. Like I think the thought of like one of your favorite artists or whatever they may be, favorite person, whatever, and then you see the other side of them, like away from the camera and the microphone, and you see that side, you know, get to kick it with them. That's tough.
Oh, dude, it was insane. It was insane. Like I said, you strip all that other stuff away, and they were just regular people just out there turning up, having a good time. And like I said, it's like you meet somebody that you've respected for so long, and then, you know, they always say, oh, man, don't meet your idols. Don't meet the people that don't meet the people that you respect like that. You know, it'll do you bad. And so I met the dude, super cool dudes. You know, we locked in, exchanged numbers. We've been in contact since then. So they've even tapped me in with some people out in Memphis, some engineers, just giving me some professional tips on like what I need to be doing better and what I could do to better get my quality up. And dude, it's been awesome. Like I said, so this is where I feel, you know, this is the stage in the game where I feel seen. Right. You know, so for me, this is like the draft. This is the combine now. Right. You know, I'm at the combine stage.
Hell yeah.
And that recognition of those eyes on you, letting you know that you're doing exactly what the fuck you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like, you know, all the other stuff, you know, like I had to put in the work. I've been grinding, been doing what I needed to do, develop the skill set. Now I'm in the combine era. You know, I haven't hit a location yet. I haven't gotten that big, like, okay, you know, we finna get this dude on the, you know, I'm not there yet.
Right.
But I feel like I finally got the nod now. And so it's like that boost of like, hey, you're being seen. You know, you're on the right path.
Yeah.
And, you know, most people be like, oh, man, I want to sign to a label and I want to do all this. I want to be the quickest dude to run away and sign my life away to somebody that doesn't give two shits about me. You know, and I'm just, to me, that's not it. You know, Russ, he says in a lot of his content, he's like, man, when you get these levels up in your career, when you hit these different accolades, treat them as a sign that you're on the right path. Nothing more, nothing less. You get an offer from your first label, even if you're broke, take it as a sign that you're moving towards the right path, that you're not in any rush to get to where you're at. Don't be concerned with the time. Be concerned with the process. And so, you know, big thing for me is I get lost in the process.
Right.
You know, do I want millions of followers? Do I want a bank account full of cash? Do I want to pull up in that, you know, in that and you know, in that and, you know, show everybody that, hi, you know, I had the last laugh, of course. But getting lost in the process is like what's going to get you there. And that's for any creative,
right?
You know, whether it's, you know, you're a painter, you know, you build houses, you know, you work at McDonald's.
Shake ass on the OnlyFans. Like,
whether you're a Lincoln Bio type of girl, you know, Lincoln Bio.
You can't lose yourself in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's definitely important to, you know, stay true, but like also know your limits. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like with the podcast, bro. Like, there's been a couple times where I was like, hey, we should do this, you know, and then him and Chase, our editor, they humbled me. You know, they're like, hey, well, hang on. Let's do this first. Then we'll do this. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's good to, like, you know, really know, like have a set goal, but also know that it takes steps to get there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. But keep this in mind, too. And, you know, I feel like, yeah, you will lose yourself in the process. I encourage that so much.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Encourage it, bro. Like, literally to the point where you get lost so far in the process that you don't know where you start and the process ends. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, like I said, I do not go out to, I'm not going out to bars for the most part unless I'm being paid to show up. I'm not going to a show unless they're cutting a check.
Yeah.
I'm not, but that's, you know what I'm saying? But that's because I just started getting paid for shows. You know, when the promoters, people hit me up, they were like, oh, okay, well, we got this show going on. I'm like, okay, well, are you paying? Because I'm you know, in my mind, I don't care what anybody says. I can have 2 followers right now, but I am past the point in my career where I'm paying to come pull up and perform.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna have to cut a fucking check.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just how it's gonna have to. It's just how it's gonna have to. I know my worth, and I know that I'm worth cash, and I'm not gonna pay y'all to come out there and get exposure.
Yeah.
Now the Sosa thing, that was totally different. To be completely honest with you, not only did I drive 3 hours to prove a point, I knew that there wasn't like a whole lot of tickets getting sold because it was a smaller venue. So I put up like $150. Just sent that to the promoter. I'm like, hey, this should cover some of the ticket costs. I don't even care. I'll give the tickets away for free. I don't care. I don't want to get paid. I came here to prove a point.
Yeah.
And
that was worth more than the $150. Like,
exactly.
Dude, I would cough up that $150 20 more times to have that night over again. That shit was so lit.
Hell yeah.
And, you know,
some things money just can't buy.
Right.
Dude, that money was so well spent. I haven't once thought like, oh man, I should have spent that money.
Yeah.
Not even once. I'll eat ramen noodles for 2-3 weeks in a row to have to get to do that again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I'll be in there, I'll starve, dog. Like that. That is how much fun that I had, how much, you know, fun my crew had, how the experience that I got from the guys that, you know, came down to do the show, the connections that I'm building now. Like I said, you know, they tapped me in with a producer out in Memphis that is, man, he's tough. Right. He's tough. His name's Ryan. Shout out Ryan.
Shout out.
But his sound is so professional, crisp, immaculately clear, and next level. So Sosa and Benji both kind of make, I would say, different styles of rap. You know, Benji to me is like this like white little Dirk type fellow. You know what I'm saying? And Sosa's just got his like his southern, like, it's not like country, like he does do country rap, but he's just got this like shit popping aspect to him. And so he's just more of a rapper. Benji has got this, you know, this like little Dirk type vibe to him. His melodies fire a whole nine, you know, it's just, but they both got their shit that's so amazing about them. But the production that they get, Ryan is their engineer. So they tapped me in with him. I got to listening to all their music again, and I'm just like, this shit sound way better than mine. Way better. My shit don't sound bad, but oh my God, this sounds like this is the level that I need to be on.
Yeah.
Right. Direction. And I mean, that's all you can really ask for, especially when you are looking at somebody that's to a point that you want to get to.
Yeah.
So, again, with that, we're kind of like getting to the end of it. And what we like to do here is at least give our guests an opportunity to leave some lasting words with the fans. So if you have like one message, one delivery point that you wanted to get across that people can watch this entire thing or they can watch 5 minutes of it, what is it that you would want for them to be able to take away from this episode?
Oh, man, self-belief is key. Self-belief is key, 100%. Like I said, I don't care if you're working at McDonald's. I don't care if you're a painter or whatever it is you do, man. Self-belief is, you know, if you build a house out of bricks made of self-belief, dude, you can make an immaculate-looking mansion. And I mean that, you know, it's self-belief changed my life, dog, you know, so anybody that's doing anything creative or anything at all, man, believe in yourself and watch how far it can take you. A piece of advice that I give my son every day is I always tell him, son, you know, you can do anything in this world, anything, you know, and then I give him the dad thing. You just got to do what? And he's always like, want it. Oh, Dad, this is so lame. I'm like, dude, I mean that because, dude, it's literally, and when I say you got to want it so bad that it keeps you up at night.
Yeah. You
know, that you're willing to turn down nights with the boys, or that you're willing to, you know, you got a baddie hitting your phone up. You got to be a man. I want to go do this so bad, but I can't do it because I got a dream. I got to chase this. You know, you really got to, you got to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to, I can't tell you how many nights that I turned away from the boys or nights that I, you know, had to put the phone on D&D because I knew where I wanted to go, but I knew where I had to be.
Yeah.
And so that's just the only advice I can give, man. If you got a dream, man, believe in that and watch it come to life because you can literally have self-belief bend reality. It's doing that for me right now. And, you know, I'm nobody special. Anybody can do it. All it takes is, you know, just that initial step and believing in yourself and whatever you got going on.
Hell yeah, bro.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's it, man. It's been another episode. It's
Yeah.
great. Like I said, this is my first time meeting you. I feel like put some straight bangers out there. It was nothing but like messages and important points. And I mean,
way with words for sure.
Absolutely. Like I said, I think it was a dope episode. I think we had a great time.
Yep.
I had fun.
I had fun. Yeah.
Oh, most def. Yeah, most def. Yeah. Most def.
Y'all make sure to go. We'll plug all his stuff. Y'all go check Rico Rax out, man.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
Go do everything. Share it. Love
it. Love it. Comment.
Yeah,
we're dropping
it out. Fucking sleep under it.
Yeah,
put it on the plate. Eat it up.
You hear the music coming out your phone. You love it so much. I want you to eat your phone, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna buy you a new one. Eat your phone, bro. But yeah, man. I drop every 2 weeks, man. Y'all check out. I got some of my releases that I just dropped that are doing pretty well right now. Muay Thai, Sunday Morning Freestyle, The Run. Just dropped Paper Chasing. Got another song coming out in 2 weeks. So, man, y'all just stay tuned. I appreciate you guys for having me, man, for real.
Yeah, thanks for coming, bro. Well, with that being said, Yap City, we're out, baby.
Yep.